Video and April Mooningham here today on the YB Edge podcast and video newsletter. How you doing today, April?
Great.
Good, good. Well, guys, April is actually #1 in the Murfreesboro office right now. She's running a 73% R&I, has sold over 42 new business sales for over $120,000. So, good job, April. Very, very good. How long have you been working with Yellow Book?
About a year and a half now.
Okay, okay. And how do you enjoy your job?
I like it very much. It's the best job ever.
So far, you're into your Murfreesboro canvas right now, and you followed yourself, and you've been able to come out of a book where you've had a great renewal and a great increase in following yourself, and you're also writing a tremendous amount of new. So let me ask you, how are you doing what you're doing? What are some of the key steps that you're taking on a daily basis to be successful?
Well, I mean, I just use the tools that are given to us in training. You can always just go back to basics and use the things that you're taught in training. Before you go into a business, I will look for anything they're doing the competitors had. I'll paste it onto a piece of colored paper, go in and ask for who handles that information. One of the #1 things is being likable. I mean, you really do have to connect with these people, and you have to be likable. When's the last time you spent an hour with someone you didn't like? Much less at the end of the call say, hey, I'm going to give you $1,000 a month of my money. You have to be likable, not fake likable, real likable. You really have to be genuinely concerned. You have to come in with research on their website. Just all of that really helps in winning the customer over, that you're doing your research on them.
Let me ask you, talking about research, how important is planning and prepping to you?
It's like your ammunition. It's your tools when you go in there. If you know something about the customer and you've done your research, then you're able to have more to talk to them about. If you go in there and you have nothing to talk about, then it really you don't look like a professional. You really need to know what they're doing, and you need to look like you've done your research.
Let me ask you, it's 10 steps to the sale. I've been on some sales calls with you, and I know that you go through every single step of the sale. You really, you're really thorough. How important is it to be thorough on a sales call?
It's very important because you're the specialist, you're the consultant, you're the one that meets from people from air conditioning contractors to plumbers to pet groomers. You're the one that goes into these businesses, and it really is your job to find out everything you need to know so you can build an effective app, because in the end of the day, you don't want to come back next year and feel like you left out something very important they needed to have said they did.
Okay, April, as far as new business goes, a lot of times reps will sell maybe a high number but low dollar amount of new. Some people will sell a high dollar amount but low number. You sold 42 for the year, and for over $120,000. Obviously, you're not coming off your recommendations too quick. How important is it to stay with your A recommendation as long as possible?
First of all, if you come off too easy, it looks like you're not confident in your product, and you're not even sure if it'll work. Well, how's that make the business owner feel? I mean, I'm very hard to come off of that, because if I know it's what's right for the customer, I'm going to stick with it. If you come off of it too easy and you're too easy to jump to another program, then, they lose kind of confidence in your product. Like, well, maybe she doesn't know what she's talking about, or he doesn't know what he's talking about. If he's so easy to say, well, do this, he's just trying to get me to do anything.
Well, April, right now we know that the internet is progressing very aggressively, especially with our yellowbook.com and our Yahoo and Google products with our websites. However, print is also very, very powerful right now for a lot of customers. The objection out there is always, well, I want to really focus on the internet. When that is thrown out to you on the beginning of a sales call, how are you handling that objection right now?
If people are calling you from the print, why wouldn't you be where they're looking? Showing the metered ads to them really shows, wow, people are calling from the print. So it's very important to have metered ads, and it's important as a rep out there, whether you're bringing in new or revenue customer, to try to get more metered ads in there. Because if you don't have current ones, you really have nothing to set you up for the next year. You have to continually get those metered ads to show that it's still working.
Well, April, it's been great seeing you grow since you became part of the office here. I remember last year we went on a sales call with an attorney, and you pulled out this trifold that had several pages on it. You've done an incredible job planning and prepping, and sold on, I think, a $900 a month or so program. Then you came back this last week, and following yourself, you came back to the office, and especially with our larger accounts when you've maxed them out, you're trying to find ways to add maybe some internet products to get a decent increase. You had another 400% increase on the account. How'd you do it? Kind of fill us in on how you went into the sales call. A lot of reps might be a little fearful because that account might be maxed out, but you went in and had a 400% increase. Talk to me about it.
We sat down and we were going over his program, and he had a lot of ads and a full page in attorneys, but it was not in color. And I knew that he needed to be in color. It really helped him stand out more. But we sat down, and I was busy looking at some things in a laptop, and the book was there, and he started to open up the book and look for his ad. So he knew that he had multiple ads, but he was looking, he thought it was under like criminal defense or divorce. So he goes to look for him, and I kind of glanced over and noticed that he kept going past the ad. Finally he said, well, I guess I'm just not in that heading I thought I was. I said, no, you are. You're on page whatever it was. And he looked back and he kept looking at the page. I said, you're right there. And he kept looking at the ad that was in color right next to him. He didn't even see his own ad. So then finally he was like, I guess you're right. I guess I do need color. So when the customer themselves picks up the book and goes to look for their ad and they keep flipping right past it, you know, I just told him, look, if you keep passing your own ad, what do you think the potential client's doing? And they're going straight to the ad that stands out more, so we can fix that. So he said, yeah, you're right, I'm going to go with that. So, you know, I got a really good increase on that account. Make them a part of your meeting. Have them do some work. Have them pick up the book and look for their own ad. You know, when someone else picks up the book, they're probably looking at your competitor too, if you looked at it. And it just really helps bring it to home for them, I guess. So it's kind of a really cool tool to use, you know, to let them see what you mean when you say, I recommend that you do something to stand out. You need some color. So that really helps.
Good stuff, April. Very good. Let me ask you this. As far as new reps, what would you say to them if they're coming out of IST on day one, or what the most important things that they should focus on a consistent basis should be?
They should consistently focus on being positive, not letting things overwhelm them, because at first you think, wow, this is so much, but trust me, you'll get used to it. You'll soon learn everything and you'll just roll with the punches. I know that at first I was like, everybody wants to cancel, blah, 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 but you just gotta keep rolling past it, because, you know, just let that roll off your back and just keep rolling past it and just keep seeing yourself as a professional, that, you know, that's just an objection that you'll get past, and just don't lose focus on what your goal is. Your goal here is making money, doing what's right for the customer, but also making money. And it's out there, and don't let like one bad day get you down, because tomorrow you're gonna have a $1,200 a month sale. You never know. If you're confident in yourself and you're confident in your product, so will the customer. The customer will be confident in you as well.